dancing that like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one. She told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of me, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman with you be the same freckled face kid that I knew? One that I read all those fairy tales to.
You may be seated. Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
My mother and I.
I'd like to take this moment to welcome you and thank you for coming to share in this ceremony of love and excitement. I tell you, you look around and see God's creation, but Monty, she's beautiful. Congratulations. The Bible teaches that God is love, and love comes from God. From beginning to end is a love story. There we read of God's love for His people, of the love that sent Christ to the cross, the redeeming love for sinners, and His sustaining and abiding love for the redeemed. We also read of the love between a man and a woman. In the beginning, when the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and placed him in the Garden of Eden, Adam was lonely. So the Lord made him a companion and a helper. When Adam saw Eve, his eyes lit up. He was no longer lonely. He said, "Now this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." It was a special moment. In a similar way, God has guided you, Monty, and came to this moment, has blessed your love together, has brought you together in the holy union of marriage. What we will see here today is a celebration, actually, of a marriage that began a little over a year ago. And after 1 year of marriage, they are more in love than ever before. God has truly blessed them. However, this past year, you've seen your share of difficulties, haven't you? With illness, injury, loss of job, pregnancy, and the birth. And of course, you suffered loss too, didn't you? Kim, I know you miss your Anna. Would probably give anything for her to be here today. But just know, she is rejoicing in heaven for you and with you. And Monty, you conveyed your sadness that your grandpa, Jesse, could not be here today. Though he's not well enough to be here, I'm sure that some are deep in his heart. There's a special place for you. He's cheering for you. He's still your best man. Our special couple today have asked to take a moment of silence to honor these two special individuals who could not be here today. Monty and Kim, the ceremony in which you come to be united today is the oldest and the first ceremony in all the world, celebrated in the beginning with God Himself. Marriage is a gift of God, given to comfort the sorrows of life and magnify its joys. Marriage is the clasping of hands, the blending of heart, the uniting of two lives into one. Your marriage must stand not by the authority of the state or because of a piece of paper or seal on a wedding certificate, but rather it must stand by the strength of your love for one another. It must stand by your devotion to one another in good times and bad. And finally, it must stand because of God's participation in your relationship. Marriage can be the greatest human relationship in the world or that you will ever experience. However, in order for marriage to reach its full potential, you must allow God to play a primary role in your relationship. It's often said that the ideal marriage is one that is really like a triangle. With Monty, you here on this side, and with Kim, you here, and God above all. And as you move closer in a relationship with God, you inevitably will move closer toward one another. Monty, will you have this woman to be your wife? To live together in the holy covenant of marriage. Will you love her, comfort her, honor her, and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, be faithful to her, so long as you both shall live. If so, say, I will. Yeah. Will you have this man to be your husband, to live together in the holy covenant of marriage? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live? If so, answer, I will. You've chosen to show personal vows of devotion and love to one another. You will join hands to face one another. King,